Imagine a world where bridges become bargaining chips, where ports are pawns in a global power struggle. This isn't science fiction, it's the unsettling reality facing NATO as it considers reclaiming Chinese-owned infrastructure. The reason? Growing concern that China has embedded itself too deeply within Western economies, using infrastructure projects as leverage. Ports, energy grids, even communication networks, all potentially vulnerable to disruption or manipulation. This debate has exposed a new front in the escalating rivalry between the West and China. It's a high-stakes game with global implications, forcing nations to confront a critical question: how much economic entanglement is too much? China's rise as an economic powerhouse has been nothing short of meteoric. Central to this ascent is the Belt and Road Initiative, a sprawling network of infrastructure projects spanning continents. From railways in Africa to pipelines in Central Asia, the Belt and Road Initiative has been lauded as a vehicle for economic development. However, critics argue it's a debt-trap diplomacy, ensnaring developing nations in unsustainable loans with Chinese-controlled assets as collateral. This has raised alarm bells within NATO, particularly as Chinese companies gain ownership stakes in critical infrastructure within member states. The fear? These assets could be weaponized, disrupting supply chains, crippling communication networks, or exerting political pressure. The crux of the issue lies in the very definition of sovereignty. Can a nation truly be sovereign while another power controls vital elements of its infrastructure? This question has ignited fierce debate within NATO. Proponents of reclaiming assets argue that it is not theft, but a necessary measure to safeguard national security. They point to the potential for espionage, sabotage, or economic coercion if control remains in Chinese hands. Opponents caution against such a drastic move, warning of dire economic and diplomatic consequences. Seizing private assets, they argue, would undermine the rule of law and irrevocably damage trust in the international system. Trust eroded. The global impact of NATO's move. The implications of NATO's decision extend far beyond the West. The world watches with bated breath, the outcome poised to reshape the global order. For countries already wary of Western dominance, the move could be construed as hypocrisy, a blatant attempt to suppress a rising power through economic coercion. This could further erode trust in international institutions and fuel anti-Western sentiment. The potential for economic fallout is equally significant. Seizing assets could trigger retaliatory measures from China, disrupting global supply chains and sending shockwaves through the global economy. A world divided, reshaping the geopolitical landscape. NATO's deliberations on Chinese-owned infrastructure are symptomatic of a larger trend. The world is fracturing into competing blocs. The post-Cold War era of globalization and interconnectedness is giving way to a new era of strategic competition. The West, led by the United States, sees China as a systemic rival, challenging its economic and geopolitical dominance. Reclaiming infrastructure is just one facet of a broader strategy to counter China's growing influence. This new era carries profound implications for global stability. The risk of miscalculation and conflict is heightened as lines are drawn and alliances solidify. Join the conversation. Your voice matters. The question of how to navigate relations with China is one of the defining challenges of our time. There are no easy answers, and the stakes couldn't be higher. We must engage in thoughtful, informed dialogue to chart a path forward. This is a conversation that demands our collective wisdom and attention. What are your thoughts on this critical issue? Share your perspectives by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below. Your voice matters in shaping the future of Express Econ Geo Finance Insights.